Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. Hello, Dental 18 listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, I brought her back because she is the guru of billing and makes my life so easy, and her name in my phone is Sarah Curriculum because she helped write our Dental A-Team curriculum, and I've never updated her name. And we met one day really creepily because we'd worked together for, I think, about 5 to 6 months. We'd talked to each other a lot. We'd been on the phone, and I was coming to visit an office in Vegas where Sarah lives, and we decided we'd meet in person and go to dinner. And I remember both of us had the feeling of, what if this person's totally sketch? I'm being picked up. You're picking someone up that we've never met. It was kind of terrifying, but hilarious. And I'm excited to welcome back Sarah.
It was magical.
It was pretty epic. That's when you know you really made a friend because they'll pick you up in Vegas after only talking to you on the phone for about 6 months. So it was pretty epic. So that's how I know Sarah. Sarah, welcome back, our billing guru. You have your own billing company, evolutiondentalbilling.com. You guys can check her out or email us. We do work with Sarah. She's our sister company, and we will definitely happily connect you. So, Sarah, we've got a solid topic today, and that's EFTs, because this is a hot topic. There's embezzlement topics around it. There's how to get paid faster. So I'm excited to teach because I don't really know a lot about EFTs. So let's dive into that. What do you have on EFTs today?
So an EFT is electronic funds transfer, right? It's a form of payment that we can receive from the insurance companies where the money is actually direct deposited into a bank account. You don't have to wait for the icky credit cards, which, by the way, opt out of those. They're terrible. Or the check in the mail. You know, the check's in the mail. It's 20 weeks later, the check's in the mail. EFTs are a lot faster. They are supposedly processing faster and paying faster, and it eliminates that whole opening the mail and touching all that paper piece of it also. So it's awesome. It's all electronic insurance payments, and it's the wave of the future.
I would agree. It's also great because then we don't have to worry. I mean, I have heard of offices having embezzlement with checks more times than I can count. And so I think that this just kind of cuts that opportunity out for team members, and it makes a lot more honesty in the practice. But I do know, because I just had one of my dear friends, she's in Grand Rapids, Michigan, reach out to me because they're starting up a practice. It's her and her husband. She is one of my dearest friends. And she texted me and she said, but how do we reconcile because a check is easier. You can see it all. Then it's in the EFTs. How do we balance it with the bank account? So Sarah, I'm excited for you to dive into that because I know that was always my hesitation with EFTs. How does it work? I know how to do the paper check, but now going into this process, walk me through that process.
So usually there's 2 different ways that this would work. When you get an EFT, you'll either get an email or an alert from the carrier, or you just check your bank account and you see that there's been a deposit and you go find it. Obviously, that's the normal method because most of the carriers won't alert us that they've paid us. They expect us to know. And then we just go find our EOBs online. So one of the biggest problems with that is the doctor has this bank account and you probably don't want to share your bank account information with all of your office.
I agree.
Pretty personal, right? Mm-hmm. So how do we get the information? There's a couple different ways. My favorite is a filtered report alert. When you ask your bank, whoever it is, the financial institution, to send you an alert by email, it can be to the office email, it can be to the doctor's email, that there's been a deposit from this place, carrier, whoever. If it's an insurance company, have an alert set up on it. So you'll get an email. You can go to that carrier's website, pull your EOBs, post them accordingly. And then all you have to do is verify the deposit amount is correct. Doctors can do that with their end of day reports that hopefully somebody's verifying financials. However they do that, we can add that into that end of day or end of month routine. But this doesn't have to be done daily. EFTs can be checked once or twice a week usually, because you'll be getting deposits on a regular basis. They will come, carriers do it on a particular date after they received the claim. A few days go by, and then they make a payment after time. So you'll know when to expect your deposit. The other way to get that information is for the doctors to cut and paste. Go log into your account. Go pull up your little snip tool on the bottom of the and snip the deposits from the insurance companies, put them onto another document, and send it to your front office so that they know where to look for the EOBs. If you're fortunate enough that the insurance carrier will alert you that they're making the payments, it eliminates that whole problem. You just have to go to the insurance website, find who's been processed and posted, and go from there.
That's interesting. I had no idea that you could do a filtered report that would just send an alert when certain carriers send it. So that way the office can still get access. Docs don't have to give access to their bank account.
Yep. And
much easier.
Yes, you have to talk to the bank for that. And I talk to your personal banker. I know that business accounts have usually a person that is connected to them, like a person to call. Ask for that to get set up. They can do that for you.
Interesting. Okay, good to know. So we set it up. We have these EFTs come through. And basically then, so I'm a doctor and I have the email that automatically goes there. I would probably think, as I'm thinking through this process, that I would want the alert to go to the office, but also to myself. So that way I can check the deposits every single night and make sure they match my bank account. How do you suggest the doctors confirm and reconcile their accounts when they're doing EFTs? Because I feel like in my mind, checks come through. I know everybody doesn't look at them, but then they go to the bank. We have a deposit. We can go back and track all those. So how do you as a doctor track this? And I feel so silly asking this, but I really can't think through the process of how I track that on the business end to make sure everything's actually matching up.
So the deposit in the bank will eventually match a deposit in your software. They're going to be kind of like a daily total, but you should have an EFT total that's separate. So whether by day or by week or by carrier, the doctor can get the information digitally online from the bank and just cross-reference that or verify it against what we posted in the computer.
I see.
The other way to do it is on paper, and it's silly, but sometimes we have to do the paper. So print it out, check it off, throw it away. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It's just got to be done. And we have to make sure it's the same, you know what I mean? We want to make sure that there's no decimal point mistake. It happens.
It does.
Banks make mistakes. So we have to make sure that we're getting what we are supposed to. Another idea is a separate bank account that the office does have access to that would be online, maybe attached to something. I know there is a way that you could do it. You'd have to talk to your particular bank to see how, but have limited access to one particular account so that they can log in, see those deposits themselves, and print out and do that but without the doctor having to do that for them.
I see. And you can do that. I have partners in certain businesses that I have. And so, and some will be their active partners. Others are just passive partners. The passive partners don't get access they can't edit within the bank account, but you can give limited access to where they can't change anything. They can't withdraw. They can't deposit. All they can do is just view it. And that is an option that you can do in that. What I was thinking though, is as a doctor, you could theoretically run a report for all your EFTs at the end of the month, send it to your front office or have them print out all their deposits. And then you could cross-reference that way or have them cross-reference and then you spot check to make it easy to make sure everything that's been in the bank is actually recorded in the software and vice versa. And we're not missing anything at the end of every month.
Yeah, it's perfect because then you're verifying both ways that the deposits are there and that the payments are posted.
Gotcha. Hello, Dentally Team listeners. I am so excited because we have truly been fortunate and blessed to work with so many incredible practices across the nation and globe. We have what is called our Platinum practice, and that is super popular. And this quarter, we are only bringing in 3 new Platinum practices. This is an area that is going to grow you exponentially. So give us a call. We only have limited space. I said only 3 this quarter due to popularity and demand. So let's get you in as a Platinum practice this quarter. Okay, so you have like pros, cons, and tips for EFTs. What are some of the pros for doing EFTs?
So the pros are everything online. There's no things to be touched. It's direct deposit. The EOBs are already online. We don't have to scan them into charts later. We can just drag and drop. And it's faster. It's so much faster when we don't have to wait for the checks to come in the mail. It's the best.
I would agree. And I do like, so what I'm understanding, if you say like the snip of the EOB, we can just drag and drop that into the file, because before it used to be like photocopy and then snip it and scan it in or all that crazy.
Yep.
Now it's just there. So
black out the other patients that are on the EOB. No, that would not be necessary. It's, one of the main things, one big thing that I recommend to all my offices is that we do scan and shred all of our paper EOBs, because there's no reason to keep those there in the office. This eliminates that. It makes it already there for you. You can either have it in each patient's chart or just have that database available that you can access and log into quickly if you do have a question on the claim.
And I will say my favorite is get those EOBs in the patient chart. I can't tell you how many dang times I go in there to look up why it's in the ledger. I don't have the EOB. You've got to go hunt down the EOB. I am a huge fan of having those EOBs pasted into the patient chart, because I think it's faster and easier to figure out ledger issues when a patient calls in. That's my 2 cents. I'm not a biller. So Sarah, you can say that's not the best idea. That's my personal favorite though.
I agree with you. I like having the EOBs easily accessible. However, it is very, very tedious to pull them into each patient's charts with some software. The best way around that, Kiera, this is a big secret. Do it by the date. Have a paid folder by date on your shared drive that anyone can access from any computer in the office. Pull up the payment date the check was posted to the account. You go to that file in your EOB shared file, open the date, find the carrier, find the patient. It should be right there. It's a couple extra clicks, but at least it's there for you.
And it's not the snipping into the chart, which I will agree that is a beast on those bulk checks when they come in.
It is. And it depends on the software. Some of them are getting better. There's one that's really good. It's called Dentrix Ascend that allows you to do that easily. So does Open Dental. Open Dental allows you to put those notes right next to the procedure when you're posting the claim. I love that. Use that information. Make sure we document every bit of the things that we read from the EOB so that we never have to touch it again, but we have it if we need it.
Makes sense. Okay. I like that. That is a good secret, because I used to bundle them like as the paper EOBs by date, and then I just go back and pull them. But I love the idea of having it just on your computer in a shared drive. You can access it anywhere.
Yep. It's so much better. And then you get rid of the paper. Bye, paper.
Seriously. I had drawers and drawers of EOBs for years, because you have to go back and find them.
Years.
It's a pain. Yes. Okay. So that's a big pro. Any other pros you want to add on for why an office should do EFTs?
That is my big pro, is all of the ease of the ease, electronic deposit, electronic EOBs. That's the biggest benefit. And it's fast. You get your money quicker.
It is fast. I also like that it doesn't come through the mail. We're not waiting on checks to come. And I mean, it's just like anything now. We live and breathe by online direct deposit, mobile deposit, things like that. So it just makes sense to be moving in that direction. Okay. What are some of the cons of EFTs?
So the cons are what we talked about. How do we verify the deposit? How do we verify the payments? How do we make sure that it's accurate on both ends? That's the cons. How do we do that? What's the simplest, easiest way to do that? There's a few different right ways. We just have to figure out what's best with the bank, with the doc, and with the team, and make it work. Okay.
So, and that was basically what we talked about, of how to verify that, how to print it out at the end of the month, how to get the alert from your bank. And it sounds like it might be a little tedious to get your bank set up. I know that there are things within my bank account that's just a pain, but have a good CPA, have a good bookkeeper, have somebody who's really consistent with your bank. Tell them what you want. They can do it. Just make sure that they get it done for you. And I think it's like, okay, that might cost you 2, 3, 4 days of heartache and pain and irritation, but how many months of ease will that create for you? So endless days of ease, sunshine, and butterflies, guys. So get it done. Okay. What? Any other cons for EFTs?
The cons are having to go find them. Sometimes we don't know we got them. We might miss one. We might have money in the bank and we don't know where it came from. We might have unpaid claims that have actually been paid. So big con is having to cross those I's, dot those T's.
And I think that just comes to having a set system in place. Everybody knows on this day, like we check for our EFTs on these days, we get an alert from the bank. At the end of the month, we cross-reference everything. And also that's running your unpaid claims report, making sure none of those are sitting there and they have been paid.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. And then any tips for if they want to get into EFTs, what you would suggest for them?
Yep, the tips, sign up online, get your paperwork started with your carriers. If you're checking benefits online, you can sign up for EFTs just that easily, usually within a few screens. And then make sure that you know how you're going to make this system. Get the system in place before we have the EFTs in place so that we know what we're doing before we start doing it. Awesome.
Okay. And if you guys, Sarah, I'm going to generously include you in this because I'm sure you'll say yes. And if not, then we'll find Brenna can edit it. But I was going to say, if any of you want, like write up your process of how you want to run your EFTs and email it over to us. And Sarah can give you some feedback on that, tell you, yep, or like maybe you missed this spot. If you guys need help, she can obviously pop on. She can help you guys with some coaching and training on EFTs. So Sarah, I'm going to generously make that offer. Do you agree?
Absolutely. I agree. Yes. If you have questions, I will help.
Yes. So send over that process. There's no reason to be afraid of it, to not do it. So many offices are doing this. And I do agree with Sarah that this is the way of the future. I think that this is the way insurances will go. And I think it won't be long before this is the only way that they will go. I could be totally off, but that would be my hunch as to where they will eventually go. And so jump on the bandwagon now, make your life easier, make your team's life easier, and just get this to be your ongoing process.
Right. Yep. Let's do it.
All right, Sarah, as always, thanks for your golden nuggets and the ideas that you bring. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. You got me.
All right, you guys, this is Sarah. If you guys need help, be sure to email hello@thedentalateam.com. She does have her own billing company. She does training. She does all things billing. So reach out. Sarah is a fantastic sister company of the Dental A Team, and we love working with her. And for all of you, thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time on the Dental A Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.